one nation.
Recording in progress.
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Justin,
Here.
Jamie, Jack,
Here.
Jessica,
Here.
Matt, Shy,
Here. Next item on the agenda is approval of minutes, council meeting dated September 10th, 2024. I'll ask council, is there any corrections, concerns? I just need a motion. All right. We don't have a copy of it. So what, we don't have a copy of the minutes. If we don't have our iPads or copies. They're good.
Scroll.
There. So we got that, but you got scroll from that grade. We'll slower. Okay. Speed read. We had a chance to skim over. Make motion we approve minutes. Joseph make a motion. Second. Jack second.
Justin,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Jessica. Yes. Shy,
Yes. Next item on the agenda is open hearing for public comment. Does anybody in the audience have anything to say? Good or bad? Okay.
I'm not sure. She had me put my name up there
Okay.
for the HPAC position.
Oh, the part?
Yeah,
Okay, that'll be coming up here shortly.
okay. I didn't know if that was, okay.
Thank you. Nobody? All right, I'll close open hearing. Next item on the agenda is a presentation by Juliet Ritchie of Garver. So as you guys, this is a brief description. This is Juliet Ritchie, Justin, myself. We all met, Wayne, Jeremy, we met with her to talk about our planning to help us redo our planning, our master street plan, make us a downtown area. So we've, she submitted a contract for us and brought her up here if you guys got any questions. I think the amount to not to exceed is 100,000, 108, 109,000.
108.
And on page. Okay, on page 13, page 12. It'll kind of give you guys a list of what Garver and her are going to be doing for the city under them terms. So I wanted her to come up here and I want you guys to ask any questions you guys got. She's very knowledgeable in what she does. So I'll look forward to council.
Do you have any specific questions, or I can just kind of give you a brief overview?
I think it'd be good to start with just
Okay. So generally, we're gonna update your future land use plan and your master street plan. I think, is this on? I don't think it's on.
Some button on the back. I have to hold it down. so-
Okay, now?
Yes.
Okay. So you have it adopted, both of them back there, I think, and, like a lot of cities, I think there's a lot of generality to it. And I think just with the growth that you're having, you know, kind of what the mayor and the other gentleman explained was that you're getting to the point where you really need kind of more detail in that future land use plan, and master street plan to be able to serve you well as far as, you know, planning for the future, your growth patterns, your utilities, where you may have, you know, potentially a downtown or city center, and provide guidance for you as you look at rezonings, as they come. And so we're gonna be doing that. We're gonna be working, with both staff and the planning commission, and the city council. And we're gonna work on, you know, mission goals and objectives, that the city wants to pursue. We're gonna try to do some public engagement. We'll have an online survey, a project website where people can go and be updated throughout the process. And we'll be creating those maps. And then when we have drafts in place of all the pieces, then we will have a larger public engagement meeting, where we have people come, right, and interact and get feedback on those draft plans. The future land use plan kind of is what it sounds like. It's looking at different areas, you know, in your city limits and honestly within your growth area. And there's really no rules for this, even if there's areas that are not in your planning area per se. If you really think that there's something that, you know, you may be looking at annexing in the future, I recommend going ahead and looking at those land uses. We'll also look at all the cities adjacent to you in your planning area. And take into account, but their future land use. I think it went off. It just keeps dying. Okay, did I do something wrong? No. Okay. Okay, and so we'll look at their plans as well and make sure that things are congruent and make sense. And then when it comes to master street plan, we're gonna be looking at the street cross sections that you have, you know, when people are building new subdivisions or new developments and they're required to build streets. Is what you have appropriate and working, or do there need to be changes? And then also we'll be looking at the potential for where there may need to be new streets in the future so that you can set up a good street grid within your city as you grow. And a lot of that is implemented through development, which I gather y'all have no shortage of right now. So really the time is now to do it. And then the downtown city center portion of it is going to become what it sounds like, taking a little deeper dive into understand what that area may be, getting some consensus, you know, among citizens in the city, where that area could be, and then discussing like what type of uses you would have, what it would look like, and, you know, what kind of form the buildings would take to help kind of define that city center. And then the final piece is a code review, where after that, we would look at, you know, kind of what the city's decided, everybody's collectively decided that they wanted. And if there are pieces of your code that, you know, would, may need updates in order for you to be able to implement that vision. So that's what the final piece is. I think it'll be a good exercise. to me, it's a great way to look at all the issues that you have. And talk through them before you get into, before you're actually looking at the development and people are wanting a rezoning, right? Because that's an emotional place for everybody. And it's much better if you've thought through kind of in detail what you want your city to be and you're confident in that when you go into that hearing. Think, okay, well, understand they want this, and I know that we looked at this and this does align, with what our vision is. The other benefit is that once you have that in place, it's something that you can show people who are wanting to develop and how they have an understanding of what your vision is for the city. What type of housing you want, what type of densities you have in different areas. And I think that also cuts down on, people bringing in applications that, might stir up issues or people are worried about. It just kind of smooths over that whole process. So that's kind of a summary. Mayor, is there anything specific you want me to touch on besides that?
No, I think that was a good overview, or just
Okay.
hopefully the council, got some questions or, whatever. Or
Could you give the perspective on the timeline? Like, I think people probably want to think it's like a 90-day process, but I think this is more like probably a year and a half, but you tell me like what's normal, what to expect.
I mean, I think what we put in the contract so we can do it, we'll agree on a mutually agreeable timeline and start date to finish the work. I think if you want to have meaningful public input, I think it's hard to do in less than a year. But we can. I've done some in like 9 months before, right? It just kind of depends on what you need. I would say it's more often around a year to 15 months. That sort of thing.
I think what we're looking for here is the year to 15 months. I think we want as much public input as we possibly can get. That way, we as a city of citizens, majority of us are going to, agree on it. We're not gonna make everybody happy, but as long as we get the majority of the citizens around a plan that they love, enjoy. I think that's what I know. That's what I want. What Justin wants. And I think that's what the rest of council, most of our citizens would like to have.
Yeah. And as far as the start date, I mean, I talked to the mayor a little bit about it. I mean, just kind of depending on something. I mean, we could start, I think, next month with the, basically data gathering and things like that. I find it hard to bring people together to do things during the holiday season, and so I think any type of, maybe push for engagement, things that may come a little bit later, but we can get started,
Something I liked what she presented was not only she'll have public meetings, we're gonna have citizen public meetings, but she's also going to put up a webpage where people can put their comments on that as well. So if they're not able to make the public meeting, or a lot of people will show up these public meetings and they'll leave and forget, oh, I forgot to mention that. Well, they're still going to be able to put their input on there, and their voices are still going to be able to be heard.
And we'll be meeting with the planning commission multiple times as well, and those will be public meetings, so it's not like, there's just one chance or something for people to come in person. And we usually do a variety of things, if people can't come, we make sure there's maps that the city can keep at City Hall. People can come in during the day and look at them, when we get to that draft plan stage, but we can work with y'all to figure out, the best way to accommodate, how to reach your citizens. So
you mentioned the maps that you'll do. Some people really need something to visualize beyond just like that.
yes,
I mean, you guys are giving something to the citizens kind of react to that gives more like a visualization of what the city will look like one day.
yes, we can do that. And I think even like the 2-dimensional maps, like I like to put an aerial in them. I told the mayor when we do like the in-person public events, I've moved to using very large format maps where you push multiple tables together. It ends up being like, a 6 by 12 foot map that has, where people can see their houses essentially, right? And understand how the network works, and they can write on those and leave notes on those for us as we talk through things, you know, whether it be a road alignment or a land use. And so I think that's very effective as well. But yes, we will have illustrations, that go along with it. I think will help people visualize. And the other thing we use is we like to use existing visual precedents, right? And I try to find them around the Northwest Arkansas region, right? Just ideas of what different styles of, you know, multifamily type development, if that's something that, you know, people want to see, right? That, so you can understand what those could be and then what kind of densities are reality in the different cities, you know, and I'm not just talking about like the larger cities, but you know, we kind of keep a portfolio of the different types of development that we think are really good. And, you know, the smaller cities, I think that would relate, y'all will relate to.
And you or your organization's doing P Ridge right now, is that right?
Yes, we are.
That's right. And you tell me that, and I thought it was a good representation of kind of seeing what the work that they're doing is. When they're going online, you can see some of the work they've done there. It's been really good.
Are there examples of other towns that you've done that where we can really like seek out a result?
Sure. So planning is a long game.
Sure.
So, but yes, I mean, we've done plans for multiple cities. I'm trying to think what Cave Springs, we did their plan in 2020 and, you know, and really some of the development that they have now, that's starting to happen has a different form. And definitely you'll see a lot more of that, I think, in the future. So Cave Springs, let's see. We've done stuff in Rogers, but I don't know that there's anything specific, but they just passed that one this summer. Basically all the cities, the smaller cities, not all of them, but a lot of them, Gravette, we did, you know, some work in Gravette on their codes and how people develop, you know, in the downtown area specifically, as well as other parts of town. And let's see, we just finished up Prairie Grove and Westport. I don't know, I can bring you some examples. I'm sorry, I should have, but I'd be happy to send some examples to the mayor and he go.
I think that'll be great. In line with what Justin said, visual is.
Yeah, right. I understand.
After sort of talk about 12 to 15 month process, once that's done, what's coming out of that? What is our engagement with you all? Is there anything, or is it like, hey, here's your plan? Now it's on you guys to go do that.
Well, I mean, that'll be up to you. But I mean, when I talked about that code review, you know, I do find that there's sometimes some code revisions that need to be done. If that's something that's not, you know, part of this contract, to dive into that, but if it's something that you want to do, then we'd be happy to do that. But I mean, you'll leave with hard copies and then you get the digital pieces of everything, you know, that we do, if that's kind of what you're asking as far as deliverables. You know, and those all belong to you, and you can edit them, change them as needed in the future. I mean, I would like to have an ongoing relationship with everybody we work with, and we do with a lot of cities. You know, just trying to help them figure out how they want to implement things and what they want to do next.
I guess more so, we go through the process, you hand us a packet with all of our homework and beautiful vision for the town. And then 8 months down the road, we get a developer comes in. Can we still go to you for advice or counsel on how to implement it, how it plays with the plan?
I mean,
Does that make sense?
yeah, I mean, we'd have to figure out kind of what that relationship would be. Man, I'll be honest with you, I'm probably always gonna pick up the phone, you know, somebody, one of the cities that I've worked for called and try to walk them through some stuff. You know, that's not a problem. You know, you want me to spend 7 hours reviewing something that we might have to figure out what the agreement is there. A lot of the cities I work for, I just have an ongoing on-call contract, you know, to where they, hire us to work hourly, you know, when they need us, in situations like that. But, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'm very hopeful that the way we put together the document, you're gonna have a lot of clarity about what the vision is and, you know, and what makes sense. To me, a good plan has, you do have that clarity, but it has enough wiggle room too, that you can accommodate things that fall kind of under that general land use umbrella, you know, if it's something that makes sense for your city, and feel good about, you know, recommending rezonings along those lines. So our hope is to give you something where it's a clear tool so that you will be able to use it. And you can always call us, but hopefully you won't have to, you know, for the day-to-day stuff.
And then I think my other piece is that for that 11, 15 months or so, we're still gonna have development come in. I think it'd be for us to think about how that plays with whatever the recommendations are gonna be.
It should be closely tied, you know, if you guys agree to sign this contract, then any development comes in. Matter of fact, they're going to put it right here. And if you guys agree, we'll go into her hands tonight. And with her recommendation of what to do will be my recommendation to you guys. You know, if it comes forward for a rezone or anything like that.
Just be aware though, until the plan is actually adopted, you know, your previous plan is going to stand.
Yeah.
And so there is that aspect, but I do think it makes a lot of sense if you're in the process, you know, and you have developers coming in, especially if it's a very substantial development, to communicate to them where you're at in the process and the feedback, you know, that you've gotten and, you know, what you feel like makes sense, you know, for the city.
Yeah. What we set out to do, you know, 2 years ago, you know, worked up to this point here is like I said, is to make something that's our citizens in our city would be proud of. People coming through would just be in awe of our city. And I think that goes above my expertise, but Justin's expertise and ours as a city. You know, this is where we need her expertise and Garver's expertise to help us plan.
You mentioned on page 15, you said that we'll get an initial code review and you'll kind of guide us like some assessments of what we probably want to change or need to change, but this isn't, there's typically an ongoing work that happens after the plan is done. I think I'd want to hear more about that because I think when we talked a lot about it in the initial group we created, there was a lot of code thinking that we wanted to put in place. And so I'm not sure how we do that, you know, like do that well with one another.
Yeah.
That's and that's where you actually put rubber against the road about what you're trying to accomplish on plan.
And there may be things that, you know, I mean, we talked about several things. We met the other day about, you know, about parking within subdivisions and different types of development, that maybe you don't have, that's not, you know, allowed right now, like the 0 lot line homes, things like that, that could be something that you want to look at as a city. And I mean, if you want to talk about that, like adopting things before, there may be some things that you want to do to your code before you even have gotten through the plan. Honestly, they may just be things that are issues today, and that where you're at with the development pressure you have, you feel like there are things that you want to go ahead and put in place. And I think, I mean, that's fine. We can certainly talk about it. I don't have any of that specifically covered in here. But I mean, it's essentially an hourly contract, you know, for these items with a not to exceed amount. And we can have some flex if you want to use the initial code review. I mean, have to put some sort of parameters around it so that you understand. I mean, you can look at the contract and you can see through our estimates. I mean, it's just hours of work, you know, depending on what the work is, you know, it might be me and another planner, it may be, me and a, municipal transportation engineer, if we're looking at master street plan, that's what it is, just hours of work, so. I mean, certainly, I'm open to helping you however you would like. This is what I put together based on our conversations, but, I mean, if you want to have like a separate on-call, contract, that has, its own limit or something, we can do that. We want to help you do whatever you need. That's,
Understood. Thank you.
Mhm.
No further questions? You wanna, anyone else have questions?
Councilman, anyone else got questions? Good. All right.
Well, thank you. Hopefully look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Can we engage or?
Not right yet. We're gonna
Okay.
see if she's gonna, if the council wants to approve this or not.
I would like to approve it, yes.
So what
I'd like to approve the plan. Go regardless.
motion to approve the proposed government contract.
Yes.
Justin made a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Should I second?
Any discussion?
Any discussion?
Just your Right.
Right,
She's not here, that, I mean,
I'm just gonna ask. She's right there.
okay, I mean, I can ask her now,
Okay.
if it's already voted.
okay.
That's, I mean,
Well, it's not fine.
okay, I mean, I was just questioning, I mean, kind of as, we said, I feel like development is happening very rapidly and my concern is that we're gonna develop a lot before we come up with a plan. If they're, I don't know, in other cities, if they say we put a stay on development until we are further down the road on what we want the city to be, because I feel like developers are gonna plan our city before we even plan it, based on our current code. And so I think as Justin alluded to, maybe that's the first pressing, thing is our code in line with what we think we want. So that may be a question for her that, what do cities do? Do they put a stay until you develop a plan? Or do you just let things develop until you develop a plan, or whatever? And so, so that's kind of a big question in my mind. Also, just, I know that for the citizens and who meets and who kind of meets with the engineer, is that typically do cities develop, we kind of have like the parks committee, or we have different committees that the city kind of offers. And I know the council has a lot on their plate other than this, and maybe the planning committee, do we have a separate committee as a city that deals with this, with the, or whatever? And I don't know, maybe we don't. I'm just kind of, throwing that out there. Is that something that we would want to do, where you have a select group of people that kind of, we already informed, that meets with the engineering group and kind of plans this with them or not, citizens, or because of how much is on the plate of the council or whatever, versus that solely focus on that. So
The planning commission is gonna be involved in big majority of the council will be involved too. We all need to make the time to go to the planning commission meetings. And once Justin and I gets a clear path of how we need to proceed on the city side of it, then we'll kick back in on that little planning committee that we had. And get recommendations, because we want as much recommendations as we possibly can. But as far as Juliet coming and meeting with individuals, no, she's got it spelled out in her contract. We're gonna stick with that contract, because, we don't want to get to the $108,000 in 2 months and still have, 15 months worth of work left to do. So, I'll be the point of contact with her, Justin. And like I said, we'll get a vision from her, and then we're gonna go out from there and start meeting with, we'll kick back up the little planning committee meetings and stuff like that, because like I said before, I don't have the vision or the knowledge even where to begin, and she will help us with that.
I'm sorry, I gave it 5 minutes later. Did you say where the money's coming from on this, or is it in the budget of it?
No, it's not in the budget. It'll be, we've got the money in the budget. We got a budget for it, yes.
I'll just.
Anything else, Ryan?
Thank you.
All right, I got a motion, got a second?
Justin,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
Shy,
Yes.
It's just a motion. They've already made the selection, so it's just a motion to approve.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. Loving the team.
If you come grab this from me, and then I'll call you about it tomorrow.
But you need to make any kind of formal move of money in the budget for this.
What's that?
We make any kind of formal move in the budget.
Yeah.
Later.
Yeah,
Okay.
budget adjustment.
Okay.
Thank you, council. Next item on the agenda is resolution appoint member to position 5 of the Parks Commission. Resolution number 25-2024. I do believe we got both people wanting to be on the park, so I'll let the first one, whichever one wants to stand up and talk first. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
Good evening. My name is J.C. Hamilton Brown. And I am applying, is that the correct word, applying? For the position on the planning committee. Or on the Parks Committee side. A little about myself. I've lived in Bentonville for a little over 2 years. I moved here from DC. Experience I've had in doing events and things like that. I've done it with private sector, federal government, the military, and schools, medical schools mainly. But I did all sorts of things from very small events to very large events that I think the largest I did was 70,000. And so I did mainly things from finding locations for events, doing budgets, who the attendees were, making sure the press was there, getting sponsors if needed, things like that. So I'm kind of versed in that. It's something that I enjoy doing. Which is one of the reasons Tiffany and I were talking about it, was it's kind of in my wheelhouse. And, you know, I think we all do a better job. It's something we enjoy doing. I think that's it for me. Do you have any questions?
You do the newsletter in your subdivision, correct?
Thank you.
I've seen that newsletter, it's a good newsletter.
Thank you.
And you've applied for the Park, Planning Commission as well. And did you apply for city council too, or just the planning commission?
No, I think I did city council too.
Okay.
I think when Matt got it.
Okay. Council, you guys got anything?
Jensen, please.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Right, I'm Gina Harper. I've been a citizen of Highfield since 2018. I relocated, escaped from California, but I have roots here. My dad's entire family's from here. They went to California for the Depression, came back about 25 years ago. And so through family reunions and everything else, I fell in love with the area and moved here to be a farmer. And then ended up in real estate. And I just love connecting people to communities. And so that's what happened there. As far as my experience with planning, I sent you guys, y'all, a list of some of the experience I have going back to dog shows. I've helped plan a national dog show and Schützen competitions where I had to get judges in, food, vendors, hotels, that sort of thing. I'm on the board of I don't know if any of you are familiar with the Walk to Emmaus. I've cumulatively been on the board on and off for 10 years. And we put on weekend retreats called walks, Christian retreats for anywhere from 100 to 200 men and women on consecutive weekends twice a year, and that is food, lodging, talks, crafts, decorations, all of it. I've run children's ministries where we put on trunk or treats and plays and everything else. So it's all in there. I'm very proficient in all the Google suite and Microsoft to keep everything organized. And is there anything specific that you all would like to know?
No, I mean, just a little bit about yourself. I think you said
I
that.
have a little farm about a mile that way.
Awesome. We appreciate both of you putting in for this, and like we say it every time, if whatever you don't get it, don't give up. We always have spots opening up on any board on the city here, so the council and myself are very thankful for the citizens that we got that want to show the commitment to be on these boards, because it is a lot of time and effort, so thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Council, if you want to go into executive session for a few, we can.
So make a vote.
Make the motion.
Make a motion.
Jessica seconds.
Justin,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Jessica.
Yes.
Shy.
Someone copy.
Shy, I think you have some information.
I think we have two really good candidates and like to see citizens get more involved in town, so I'm gonna step down from my position on, park commission and,
We're gonna point,
we'll open, have both positions open.
yep, we'll point both of you tonight.
Congratulations.
We want to thank both of you guys for being willing to do this, because like Shy said, we're so excited to have more citizens get involved, so. JC, we're gonna nominate you for position 5. So I just need a motion to nominate a resolution.
I move that.
Just makes motion.
Second.
Shy seconds it.
Justin,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
Shy,
Yes.
Then we're going to have an additional resolution that the mayor is going to call for a vote on. It's to appoint, it will be to appoint Gina Harper to position, Shy's position on the Parks Committee. And if the council can take action to approve that resolution, I'll give it to the mayor tomorrow for signature.
I'll make a motion as a.
I'll second.
Made motion. Second.
Justin,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
Shy,
Yes.
Thank both of you.
Win-win-win. Yes, yes. Nice.
Next item on agenda is resolution number 2024-18. What, Jay, read it? Ordinance. Yes, ordinance. Did I say resolution? My apologies, ordinance.
An ordinance setting forth certain regulations for the sale of alcoholic beverages for on-premises consumption within the city limits of Huntsville, Arkansas.
I'll let, I seen an article in the paper that city was talking, or the county was looking at passing this to make it easier for establishments to get their license from ABC and stuff. I sent it to Jay, asked him about if we need to pass something like this. As far as what I understand off of the ordinance and stuff, it makes it easier for them to apply to the ABC, get their license if the council approves.
They're allowed to sell alcohol, something.
No, we're still trying to garner signatures for that. Still got about 40 left. And speaking of us, if you guys,
Doesn't Black Howler open on Sundays?
yes, that's they're a brewery. That's a different kind of permit. Classification, yeah.
Okay. So,
Now, restaurants can sell on Sundays. You just can't go buy a case of beer or a bottle of whiskey from the liquor store on Sundays or the dollar store, or the gas station.
I guess it says it's for on premises consumption.
Yes,
Like a
that's like
restaurant or hotel.
a restaurant.
But I guess what I'm trying to figure out, like, the airport has all these restaurants, they're serving alcohol all day long today, like, what is this doing for us? What's different than what we already have in place? I'm not.
Yeah.
So we don't have this in place.
So I mean, but restaurants can serve alcohol in city limits already today on premises, right?
The purpose of this is to assist restaurant operators in obtaining their permit. This makes it easier to obtain their permit. We don't know what the people at the airport have to do to get their permit.
But they are in city limits, right?
Yeah.
So they can,
We're collecting sales tax from those sales.
they can still get a permit now, it just will be easier if we pass this.
Correct.
Make a motion.
Well,
First,
first, if we can make a motion to suspend the rules.
This is already reading on there, but needs to.
I'll make a motion.
Should I make a motion? to suspend the
I will
rules?
second.
Just a second.
Justin,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
Shy,
Yes.
Motion for approval.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Jessica makes a motion,
I'll second.
Jack second.
Justin,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
Shy,
Yes.
Next on the agenda is ordinance number 2024-19.
An ordinance rezoning certain lands within the city of Pikeville known as parcel 22-0008-080 and parcel 22-00014-000 and for the purposes.
Jeremy, you wanna come up here?
Good evening, council.
So this is the rezone of the subdivision around the dollar store. They're currently an R2
Yes,
and they're wanting to go to an RN.
yes.
Now, is there representatives here tonight for them?
No.
Okay. My concern was, that they put smaller lots, more houses in there. Jay, I'll let him explain to you that, in the planning commission meeting, he makes stipulations that that's not what they can do.
The planning commission, this was presented, it was approved by the, recommended for approval by the planning commission. The developer says, look, we're not trying to change our lot sizes. We'd like to build a fatter house, which is going to look better from the street. We think it's gonna build a better neighborhood. We think it's gonna be a more saleable house. But to build a fatter house, we have to have tighter side setbacks, which are what are allowed in RN. So a condition of the planning commission approval was that the number of lots in the property could not increase from what's shown on the approved preliminary plat. That the lot sizes have to remain a minimum of 6,000 square feet per lot. And the lot width as special conditions have to remain at 60 feet. And these special conditions have to be placed on the final plat as part of its approval, so they can't change their mind later and say, oh, we're gonna reduce some lots because we have RN zoning.
So one of my questions for tonight, but they're not here, was going to be, why can't you stretch it out longer instead of making your side setback shorter?
Putting more house on the same size lot is what you're saying, so they're asking.
They're not asking for a bigger house, they're asking for a fatter house.
A wider house.
Right.
Right, so therefore the houses are closer together, because you're not changing the lot sizes.
Right. You're going from 10 foot to 7 foot.
So it's 3 feet on either side of the lot.
And I think, Jeremy, what's your thoughts on it?
I was good with 10-foot setbacks. Being that said, with stipulations in place, it's 3 foot gonna make a difference. But the house look better, fatter, as Jay would say. Yeah, I've never ran into this issue either in my 30 years of doing this, so it's a new one on me.
One and a half on each side, right? Or 3 feet.
It's going from 10 foot to 7 foot. So yes,
Okay.
that's going from 7 foot to eve, so it should be 7.5 building.
You already look back, right close together as it is.
You do what?
They look incredibly close together in the current neighborhood as it is. I can imagine being closer.
Now, the current neighborhood you're looking at across the street is actually it came in as a PUD, so them are 5 foot setbacks.
Okay,
So that's why they look
So
closer.
we're gonna grow by 2 feet.
Yes.
You're talking about different,
So I have 2 different neighborhoods now, sorry.
these houses are not yet.
Okay, I thought this was the extension or something of the same neighborhood, sorry.
No, this one's still in the building stage, it's still just dirt. Cody, did you have comments on it?
Yes, sir. So some of the concerns that I've got are if you take a house and make it bigger, you produce more fuel. more fuel is more heat release, which can contribute to one house catches on fire. If they're close enough to the next house, they can catch on fire. And the closer that setback is, the less advantage that we have as a fire department to stop that fire where it is. That's a concern of mine, that if we lower this setback, that we're creating opportunity for other houses to be involved in the event of a structure fire. The exposure, taking care of exposures is second in our tactical goals on scene, second to life. So we're caring about life first, exposures are next. So it's pretty significant concern on our end to keep that exposures from becoming involved in that fire. So that would be something that I would consider, and your decision is having them close together creates opportunity for fire spread.
Can someone from the planning commission tell us why they propose that we actually approve this tonight? Because they moved it forward to us, and what gave them the reason to think we should approve this? Mr. Wayne, can you tell me?
Jay's stipulation suggestions. We thought that they said, they admitted that they'd make it a longer house and keep the same square footage. But, you know, the planning commission said that if we have these restrictions in there, they're gonna be on the final plat. We felt comfortable enough recommending it to you guys.
Is it strictly aesthetic that they're asking to do this on? Just to make the house look better?
I think it's gonna make the whole subdivision look better.
I mean, that's a pretty big concern because. So,
We have PUDs with 5-foot setbacks, so where was Cody then?
I mean, that was in the past, but it doesn't mean if we make that. I'm not against that, I'm trying to understand if it's just aesthetic and there's a risk.
The developer is a builder and thinks that'll help the property sell better. The planning commission was willing to go along with it. I don't have a dog in the hunt, and it's up to the council at this point.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, my question to him was gonna be, well, why can't you just go longer? You know, if you want a bigger house, just go longer, because your lots are what's, they're 100 and how deep are they?
I believe they're a 60 by 100, so 6,000 square feet lots.
So,
And that's what they're staying as.
but they didn't show up, so.
Do we defer until we show up next month? Is this, does it have to be today? Again, if I'm the only one in this, then that's fine.
If you want to table it, tell them to show up, and table, let's make that motion.
But what's been the order of events? So did this go through planning commission? And was this one that we approved, or it's gone through planning commission and then they went back to the planning?
Exactly.
Changed it.
Yes.
Their explanation was, we always intended for our houses to be this wide, but we overlooked the size of the setbacks when we presented this for approval as.
They should have come in as an R1 probably, and they came in as an R2 instead. And with that 10-foot, well, actually they should come up with RN, but I don't believe we had that zoning in place at the time. It's either a PUD or an R2. An R2 is more favorable in our situation at that time. Setbacks were further apart. Now we changed the zonings, but the PUDs plumb out, so they went to R2. Now they're wanting to go to an RN to get the 7-foot setbacks.
What are the setbacks on Woodward Hills and Silver Meadows?
Silver Meadows wasn't in the county at the, or wasn't the city at the time, so Woodward Hills is 5 foot.
It's but
They're both putts. So our current situation is they're gonna be double what we currently see in this Woodward Hills in there as far as width between houses. So 110 feet, right? You're saying about 10 feet.
What is zoned right now?
What is zoned right now?
What they're asking is to
It's
take
not
the
set.
zoning to would just be 2 feet.
Be better than Woodward Hills is in this one, but not as good as what we currently have in place.
Can I ask an ignorant question? We're talking about the space in between the two houses,
Right.
correct?
Yes, it does affect the front
So
setback.
Woodward Hill is 12, there's 6 feet in between my house and my property line. And then
They
my
may
neighbor's-
vary, it's
Yeah.
like 0.15 acres.
Justin, can you say that? I couldn't hear you.
I was just visually trying to figure out what we're dealing with here. This neighborhood right here, by across from Miller Hill is 5 feet between houses. Your neighborhood is 5 feet between houses. It sounds like what's currently been approved is 10 feet between houses, but they're asking for 7, so it's still not 5, but it's not where what we could get. 10 feet would be a much better look for any kind of aesthetics for development and growth. The wider the lots, the wider width you have two houses, the pretty good, but that's just.
So what you're saying is this is still tight, wider.
It'll be wider than what we have, but not as wide as what we currently approved. So we're asking to provide our current approved plan. I would vote against it. That's right. Are we voting right now? Where I don't do it now. We don't have a motion.
I need a motion to either vote against, for, or table it.
I'll make a motion to table it until, for next month and for them to show up.
Shall I make a motion to table, have the vote, sure,
I'll second that.
Jack seconds it.
Justin,
No.
Jack,
Yes.
Jessica? No. Shy?
Yes.
Table plans. As in with your budget, I know this is how it is.
Alright, so. Not a motion.
We don't approve it, like someone,
If that,
is that a motion?
We need to put it on, let's need to put it on first reading to do that. I can either read the whole thing or you can move to suspend the rules and put it on. Keep reading.
I move to suspend the rules, reading for 3 times. There's no-
just next motion, suspend the rules, 3 different times.
I'll second.
Just a second.
Thank you, Mary.
Justin?
Wait, what does this do?
This is just so I don't have to read the whole thing before you vote.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Jack?
Yes.
Jessica?
Yes.
Shy?
Yes.
An ordinance rezoning certain land within the city of Platteville known as parcel 22-00008-080 and parcel 22-00014-000 and other purposes.
So I think we're good.
They can vote to approve, or they can vote to not approve.
I move to not approve.
But if we vote to not approve, then does that put this? It just does away with it, or it makes them wait a year, was it
It's
just,
just,
okay,
The development's still
right,
approved
they still
under,
have some.
under R two.
We just have to
It's
vote
just,
input.
there's,
they can't, they can't seek another rezone for a year.
so Justin has a motion to not approve.
Right.
I'll second.
Jessica seconds.
Justin?
Yes.
Jack?
Yes.
Jessica?
Yes.
Shy?
Yes. Yes.
Motion not to approve, passed. Thank you, council. Thanks, Cody. Thanks, Jeremy.
You bet.
Next item on agenda is ordinance 2024-19. Excuse you.
Replats.
No, we didn't pass one.
So this is.
And Jeremy, you come back over for these final plats. They've passed your and Dustin's inspections. They're good to go.
Yes.
No questions on your guys' end as far as any of it?
I can't speak for Dustin.
I'm just waiting on final as-bills, and I was told they're gonna be delivered tomorrow, so we're good to go on mine.
Okay. And kind of give the council an overview of what's going on.
Well, what was going on, this was originally a subdivision for duplexes. And Roush Coleman presented us to say, hey, we want to put in some townhomes, which requires zero lot lines. So in April, they came before the planning and you guys to get approved for R3, which allows for zero setbacks. And so now they came for the planning commission last month to for a plat and a final plat or of the replat of these, to split these lots in half for that zero lot line. It still looks like a duplex, but now they're a townhome. Where you can sell one side or the other versus a duplex, you have to own the whole building. So. This is just pretty much legal paperwork and
So the replat, if there was lot 141, it's now lot 141K and lot 141B.
right?
So we didn't redraw the lots, we just split them down the middle.
They went from duplexes to people renting to townhomes people are buying.
So I'm hearing you say the structure is the same.
Well, actually, the structure is not the same. It's gonna have a true, fire wall between them, yeah, and things like that. Yeah, but since it's gonna look the same.
Visually similar structure,
Yes.
Same theory, just renters versus ownership.
same number of rooftops.
Yes, yes.
So change that.
No increase on our utilities, whatever that's already gonna be there. So
Just need a motion to waive reading of full 3 different days.
I'll make a motion.
Chad makes a motion.
I'll second.
Jack seconds.
Justin,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
Shy,
Yes.
Can I get a motion?
An ordinance accepting the final replats of parts of Woodward Park Phase 1 and Phase 2 to the city of Pikeville, Arkansas for other purposes.
Need a motion for approval.
I'll make it.
Chad makes it.
I'll second.
Jessica seconds. Any
No discussion.
no discussion? Yeah.
Justin,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
Shy,
Yes.
No emergency response.
Next item on the agenda is ordinance number 2024-20.
The motion to suspend.
Oh, I need a motion to suspend the rules.
I so moved.
Second.
Second.
Justin,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
Shy,
Yes.
An ordinance amending certain water and sewer rates within the city of Pikeville, Arkansas and for other purposes.
So what this is, we're raising rates for outside city limits customers. Used to, when we bought the water system in the early 2000s, the loans and stuff we had didn't allow us to raise water rates for outside city customers. Since we redone it, bonds, the laws no longer apply to us. So these rates are, there's no reason for somebody that lives inside the city limits or outside city limits to pay the same rate as that city limits customer. Every city has outside city limit rates, so it's time for us to come up to speed.
Is there a way for us in this commission to compare city versus non-city?
Say what now?
Can we compare city versus non-city? Is it a 5% difference, 2% difference?
It's on the sheet.
Dustin, you come up here.
Top table and bottom table.
Top to bottom, given the stock,
It's about the actual flat rate per 1,000 is about double.
Okay.
For residential. Per 1,000 gallons is double.
Okay. So like.
And this also covers our 3% increase for next year for inside residential, or inside residential as well, to let us comply with Act 605. So
Say that again, Dustin.
it also includes the rate increase for our 3% that we discussed last year. We had to go up 3% according to our rate study to be compliant with Act 605 for the next 3 years. That also is incorporated in these rates.
So I'm thinking about this right, like, so where I live, my neighbor next to me is not part of the city, but I am. I would pay the lower rate, that person would pay the higher rate.
Yes, sir.
Even if we're right next to each other.
And as the mayor stated, as a citizen of Pikeville, we get your tax dollars, their tax dollars goes to the county. So in order for them to get the same level of service, it's just.
They want a lower water rate, they can consider.
Yeah, I think we should make that a conversation for people, because it's an increase in your pay, which may not water, maybe some people would say it's willing.
Well, I mean, when you go ask people now, they'll say, well, there's no reason for me to annex in the city because there's no benefit.
Right.
I get the same water rates citizens do in the city, and I get fire and police, so there's no reason for me to annex.
I like that. I'd like it if we could figure out how to make it easy for citizens to figure out how to annex in the city. It's not
All I can do is just call me, and if they touch us, we'll get them in.
It's pretty easy. Well, I don't know. I tried once, it wasn't very easy.
But that's a different subject. Still throwing that salt in, you know.
Another issue as well, I mean, if we have a water leak, say at Jack's house, it's a 5-minute commute with a backhoe, where if we have a leak on Highway 102 in Tilly Hill, we're looking at 2 hours travel time with equipment and manpower before we even get started. So, I mean, the rate increase outside city limits makes sense, but
I think so. This is, since like, we do this on trash as well, because I know they get the services of trash that we provide too. Do we have different rates for that?
We don't provide trash service outside.
we do.
We do.
Every customer that's on our water is on our trash.
All right, well, I might talk to him.
Might want to look into that too. Okay, you might get a lot more citizens in the city pretty soon. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Any more questions?
Thank you.
I make a motion to approve.
Jack, next motion.
Second.
Justin,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yeah.
Shai,
Yes. Next item on agenda is department head reports. Any department head got anything? Oh, of course you do, right?
Sorry, I'll be as quick as I can. Couple things I wanted to make sure that y'all were aware of and that are updates on some projects that are going on at the PD, the generator projects moving forward. I'd say within the next 30 to 60 days, we should have that either in process or completed.
That bid come in significantly lower.
Less, yeah, it was,
50 some odd thousand
56
versus 91.
versus 91, so we'll be saving a lot more money than we thought on that. The Northwest Arkansas Children's Shelter Resource Shelter project, that is slowly moving. We've advertised for the position on the shelter side, on the city side. We're working on that job posting as well. We had to replace another staff member that was unexpected, left and went to a corporate job. So we are in the process of getting that person onboarded. And then we will, sometime around the week of November 11th, start interviews for the Northwest Arkansas Children's Shelter Resource position. And I think I've acquired a patrol vehicle for that. That's significantly less than what we would normally be paying for a patrol car. Possibly coming from a neighboring city that is the vehicle's only an administration vehicle. So it's essentially brand new and it'll match our current fleet. It's a Tahoe. So I think we'll get a good deal on that as long as things go according to plan. Guys have been real busy. They're on call right now. Our new hire was going to be here to introduce himself, but they're busy this evening on calls for service. The drone team has been super busy, 7 calls in the last 30 days, which is a lot for us. Doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a lot for just specifically requests for for our team. We went to the Bentonville Fire Department, Bella Vista Fire Department on fire calls, Gallatin Fire Department. Town PD is now training with us every month. So we're helping them develop their UAS team as well. So that's a resource that we've been able to provide to our neighboring agencies. We've assisted Lowell PD just this last weekend. We had a call here in our own jurisdiction where the drone came in handy for the Northwest Arkansas Children's Shelter, a missing child that had ran off, and we were able to utilize it for that. We also assisted the Gravette Fire Department, and the most significant of the calls that we've had recently was for the Pea Ridge Police Department. And there was a barricaded subject where the individual was firing rounds at law enforcement officers when they arrived. And we were able to deploy our team to provide overwatch for that scene. And we have an interior tactical drone to where we actually integrate with the entry team. So like a SWAT team or a tactical team where somebody is in crisis. This individual was in crisis. So we were able to clear some buildings with our drone and the interior of a residence and the interior of a camper. And then a successful outcome was had. So this individual was able to get the help that they needed. And our team was very, very important to keep an officer safe and the community safe that night. So wanted to bring that up. We also provided some active shooter training for the Decatur School District. We were able to do that. We have some plans for the Gentry School District in January. So our agency is providing services to our community and the surrounding community. So I want y'all to know that the things that we are able to do with a small amount of staff and a committed group of individuals does affect our community and it saves lives. So thank you for being supportive of law enforcement and our emergency services. And it means a lot to the people who work here. And thank you all. So that's all I have.
Thanks, Chief. Any other department head got anything? Next item on the agenda is financial reports for the month of September 2024. Anybody got any questions, concerns? If none, I would ask for a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Jack makes a motion.
I'll second.
Just a second.
Justin,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
Shy,
Yes.
Next on the agenda is community events, farmer market every Saturday, city park until noon. When that's ending here shortly, right?
on the 26th.
26th of October, correct?
Yes.
Fall tree giveaway is Tuesday, October 15th, 7 a.m. until gone. Fall festival Saturday, this Saturday, October 12th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then the Christmas in the park is Friday, December 6th at 5:30 p.m. Mayor's report has got a few items. Jeremy and Fire Chief done the final inspection for El Polito today. They passed. So did you ever find out when?
We did want to put a specific date on it, but they're thinking any time, they're thinking as soon as the middle to the end of next week.
Okay, so the opening date for El Polito is coming fast.
Coupons?
Yeah. We got word today that's where the trailer park there at 264 in Bryant. They're building a clubhouse down there east of that, at the bottom down there. They'll be opening up a liquor store. So that anticipation for that. What do you say, Jeremy? May of next year?
Yes. May of next year.
May of next year, so anyway, that is coming in. I had to sign their permit today. That's all I got on the mayor's report. Council got anything?
Yeah, last meeting we talked about, amending the speed limit.
So Jay is, all he's gonna do, yeah. We're just making any any city street not posted is gonna be 20 miles. So every street's gonna be 20 unless otherwise posted.
Okay,
So the subdivisions, well, like, most of our city streets are posted 35, 45.
Mhm.
You know, so if it's not posted,
so does that mean you'll go in then and change whatever is in Silver Meadows to reflect 20?
yes, we'll have to. But we have to order
So it's
all,
in progress still,
Yes.
basically. Okay.
we have to order signs and everything else. You just
Fair.
gotta give us.
You've
I
got a
guess-
month. No, I'm just kidding.
It's funny. That was us tonight.
I will.
Council, got anything else?
On the tree giveaway, it's 2 per household, is that right? Or is it, what's the process on that?
2 per household.
Yes.
What kind of trees we have this year? Anybody know?
I don't have a
The
list.
list is on our city website.
Noted. Thank you. I make motion we adjourn.
Just makes motion, John.
A second.
Just a second.
Justin,
Yes.
Jack,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
Shy.
Yes.
Thank you, council. Thank you, citizens, for showing up.
Thank you, Mayor.